Hi, this is Beth Azor, and this is my podcast, I Own a Shopping Center, Now What? So I know I have spoken to you all in the past about the importance of knowing your lease. Today I'm going to take it from a different vantage point. I think that it's super important that you understand the defaults and the remedies of certain provisions that you might have in your leases. For example, let's say you have a former or a supermarket grocery anchored shopping center and they have a no build zone in a parking lot that maybe is very large, like 1,000 parking spaces, and you have an opportunity to put in an out parcel that could bring you $75,000 on a ground lease annually for 20 years, which would obviously increase the value of your property significantly. Obviously, I'm not encouraging any of you to go into default with your tenants. But what I want to make sure that you're doing is evaluating the pros and cons of doing that. So for example, what if the grocery store only has 2 years left on its lease and it's a local grocery store, maybe with one location? Maybe it's a large grocery chain that you think you have a feeling that they might be relocating to a new development soon. What is your position if you defaulted? And for example, let's say it was a large grocery chain. You've heard a rumor in the market that they are looking to move down the street. They have 3 years left, and you have an opportunity to put an out parcel in a go dark zone. First of all, you're going to know in the next 6 months while you try to negotiate that out parcel deal, you can go visit the grocery store in their headquarters to find out if the rumors are true and to get more intel. Maybe the rumors aren't true. Maybe they want to stay with you and renew. And maybe in the meeting at their headquarters, you can discuss with them that the parking lot has 1,000 parking spaces. And if you put an out parcel so that it's not directly in front of their view corridor, they might allow you to do it, right? This is all a negotiation. Additionally, there might be a situation where you have a co-tenancy provision, or let's say like a use restrictions. For example, you have a national coffee store and you have an adjacent parcel that you would like to replace a restaurant with a gas station, but they have the right to approve a co-tenant. And they don't want a gas station. They don't want a gas station because the gas station has a convenience store that sells coffee. Again, what's the term left on the tenant? What is their remedy? Is their remedy that if you put in a coffee place, like a gas station with coffee next to them, is their default mechanism that they can go to percentage rent, and after a year, they have to what we call poop or get off the pot, meaning they can go to percentage rent for a year, but if their sales haven't been affected, or even if they have, they can decide if they're going to revert back to contract rent or terminate. So what my point of this podcast is not to send all of you out to default with your existing tenants. My point with this podcast episode is to make sure that you have the knowledge of the ramifications if it was something that you would consider. Because additionally, when you call the tenant to try to get a waiver for maybe one of these two things, a dark area, a no build area, or a co-tenancy, isn't it important that you have the facts in front of you to say to them, you have 2 years left on your lease, grocery store or coffee store with no options. Are you going to renew? So before I adhere to this restriction, it may take me a year to build out an out parcel or a gas station. And what if in the meantime, they give you notice that they're vacating? So again, my intention of this is definitely not for you to go out and default on your agreements with your tenants, but many of these leases, especially a grocery store, could have possibly been done decades ago. And maybe it is a different scenario for, like right now, we know that there's massage envies all over the place, and there's grocery stores that say no massage stores or no massage studios because massage was a different animal many years ago when those leases were done. So read your leases, understand what the ramifications are, understand how long you have a relationship with your existing tenants, and then give them a call and talk to them about it, and then make your decision. I hope this helped. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. Please share it, like it, and subscribe. Hey, listeners of I Own a Shopping Center, Now What? We have done some research, and we have found out that 92% of the listeners are men in the ages of 50 to 70. So what I wanted to do is shout out to all of you. Thank you for listening. But I wanted to shout out to all of you. If you have a wife or a sister or a daughter, I have a conference every year in March called the Women's Real Estate Investment Summit. There are 250 women that attend, and probably 75% of them are investors in all kinds of different asset classes. We've had women that are fix and flippers, women that have invested in storage, hospitality, student housing, of course, retail, and you name it, senior living, multiple different asset classes, car wash funds. And the women in the room, what I do is I interview women that are investors, and then those women go into breakout rooms and do like a deep dive on how they underwrite their deals, multifamily, etc. And a lot of the women in the room have started investing with each other, which is great, which is helping my goal and mission of getting more women to invest in commercial real estate. But if you have a wife, a daughter, a sister, a mother, that maybe you want them to learn a little bit more about the industry, or maybe they're running your properties with you, have them come. It's March 4th through the 6th. We opened registration last week. We've already sold over 50% of the tickets. I highly predict that we will be sold out by year end. Maybe this would be a great holiday present for the woman in your life. So think about it. You can find out all of the information on bethazor.com. Just scroll down to the summit and you can read all about it there. It is life-changing for the women who attend. At least that's what all the testimonials tell me. And this will be our 6th year. So we've really honed it in and figured it out. So would love to see the ladies in your lives come and meet me and talk about real estate investing. Ciao.